Hello, I'm Gavin from the Slower Guys. Ty recently challenged us to ruin a brand new lab coat, obviously. Made Dan wear
Give me
it.
a
I
second,
wouldn't get
guys.
that kind of mess on me. Look at this. It's almost too bright for my eyes. Yeah.
All right. I say we get started. Welcome, guys, to another live stream. So, last time I did one was quite a while ago. It was probably about a year ago. And so, this is not a live stream Q&A specifically dealing with anything Coaster Studios. This is going to be about the road trip I just got back from, which hopefully you've been following along with that. So, what I've been doing is I am based in Virginia, in case you didn't know, and I have been traveling all the way out to California and back, hitting up 21 amusement parks. So it's a crap ton of roller coasters. So I'm going to be talking about them, answering questions. And so, yeah. Now, a couple things that I just need to go over is I know that there's lots of people in the chat room, quite a few people watching. I see right now there's about 300 people watching. So what you're going to have to do is just, if you want to post a question, go for it. Try to stay on topic if you can. Anything offensive, mean, or anything, if you're directing a mean or hateful comment towards someone else, it's going to be banned. So I have two people in the chat room, KI Story and Bat Fastard, and they will be moderating the comment section. So if you are spamming it or being mean towards other people, you will have your comments removed. And if you continue to do it, you will be banned. Okay. I've given them specific instructions, and they will not hesitate to ban you if you are not being okay. This is a good place, and we are just going to have a good time. We're just gonna, this is supposed to be a nice, friendly environment. And so that is why anything mean is going to be taken out. So how was my road trip? It was really good. So I was gone for about a month. I was gone from June 23rd, I believe, and I got back this past Thursday. So this is being filmed on a Tuesday, so I've been home for less than a week, and it was long, but I'm so glad that I did. I don't know if I do it again because it was very long, and I think what started to happen was I actually started to get used to going to a new park every day, and that's not how I want to be, because going to a new amusement park is a privilege. And I mean, I get excited when I go to a new amusement park, and so this was an instance where I was going to 21 amusement parks, only I think 3 of which I'd been to before. So actually it might have just been 2. But anyways, that's one thing that I'm not crazy about. I definitely did start to get used to it. So if I did do something like that again, it'd probably just be like a week. But it was a really good experience. Also because I haven't really had the opportunity to travel the country much, and I got to be able to do that. And one thing I gotta say, one of my absolute favorite things about this trip was I got to meet you guys. So here's what I want you to do. If you're in the comment section and I got a chance to meet you, post a comment saying that I met you, and maybe talk a little bit about our day. Did you enjoy spending some time with me? And just did I meet your expectations, or any of that stuff? Because oh gosh, how many people did I meet? Like, just from all of you guys, I must have met, I want to say, at least 100 of you guys, probably more. It was quite a few, and I loved it. By far, my favorite instance meeting fans. If you were at Six Flags Great America, I had a meetup at American Eagle, and there were probably 25 of you that showed up, and we took up an entire train at American Eagle. And so we are all in the train, and it's just all Coaster Studios fans. I'm in the back row, and everyone has their hands up, and it was so hype. It was fantastic. It was like, I mean, the actual roller coaster is fun, but just being able to ride it with all of you, even if I wasn't sitting next to you, but just having everyone there was such a cool experience, and I loved it. So thanks to everyone who was there. And I also had a small meetup at Rougarou at Cedar Point, and probably about 15 people showed up for that, and that was fun too. So I think what I'm going to start doing is when I go to a new park, I'm going to try and have a meetup if I know that there's a large fan base. So like Cedar Point and Six Flags Great America have lots of people there. So I definitely am going to try to do that in the future. But for parks that maybe don't have as many viewers, probably not. But that's why I go on Instagram and Facebook and I try to post where I am in the park so I can make it easier for you guys to find me. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to answer questions probably later in the video. What I'm going to start by doing is going through and I'm going to talk a little bit about each of the parks that I went to. So I started with Kings Island. That's on June 23rd. And I'm going to end with my last day at Cedar Point on July 20th. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about them. And then I'll go into the practical aspect of like how we're able to get to all these parks one by one, day after day. And then I'll talk about also, if you want to do something like this, how do you afford it? Because that's one thing that I get asked. How do you afford something like this? And so I'm going to talk about how I was able to do it. Because if you do it right, then it is possible to do. Maybe not as something as long, but something like this is doable. It's not for everyone, but it is doable. So let's get started. So my first day was at Kings Island, and this was my second visit to the park. I went last August, and I don't remember crowds being too bad at all. It was just fun being able to get back on everything. It was a chill day. I did have the Cedar Fair dining pass, and so we went and we would just go there. We'd have some food, and we weren't in a rush to get all the coasters done because we had ridden everything before. So I was able to meet a couple of viewers there. I know Logan from Coaster Kids showed up. He's in the chat room. And actually, one thing I want to mention, if you haven't already seen the video, I did a Kings Island video with Coaster Kids where it was a little bit of a channel battle, and we just had a fun time going around meeting fans at Kings Island. So go ahead and check it out. It's on their YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. We had a great time. So the next day was at Kentucky Kingdom. So this began the parks that I hadn't been to. So this was the first one I hadn't been to, and this was also an ACE event. So I went for Storm the Kingdom, and I'd been to ACE events before. I'd been to them at mainly King's Dominion, and so this was fun. I recognized some faces, but it was also great because I was able to go ahead and ride everything. There was ERT, and there were tons of coaster enthusiasts, and we didn't have to pay for meals because it was included with our ACE event tickets, so we didn't have to worry about drinks or anything. And Kentucky Kingdom, supposedly we went on a crowded day, but it really wasn't that bad at all. I mean, the longest line we waited in May was like 15 minutes, and then of course we had ERT later. So it was really fun. The thing that wasn't as great was the operations at Kentucky Kingdom aren't the greatest, but I was able to get tons of rides in on Lightning Run and Storm Chaser, which those two roller coasters, like, forget the rest of it. It doesn't matter how many coasters that park has. Those two are outstanding. Both of them. That is like a great top two. If you're looking for a park that has some great rides, I would highly recommend Kentucky Kingdom, because here's my thing. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I had a blast. And so if you're in the Louisville area, I would highly recommend going to Kentucky Kingdom. So next on the trip was the next day at Holiday World. And this was a favorite of mine because free parking, free soda, free sunscreen, awesome water park, awesome roller coasters. Great time. Like, obviously they don't have as many as some of these others, but I mean, Thunderbird was awesome. I bought a t-shirt from it, and Voyage is one of my favorite wooden roller coasters now. So I think I still have El Toro's #1, but I haven't done Voyage at night. So if I got a chance to do Voyage at night, that might change. But as of right now, I think I have it at #2. But also, I haven't been on Lightning Rod. Not too many people have been on Lightning Rod. All right, so highly recommend Holiday World. It's in the middle of nowhere, so you're driving and you just see corn, and then it's roller coasters, and it's a really cool site. And you just walk up, and it has such a great family-friendly feel. If you've been to Holiday World, I mean, that's a great place. I would highly recommend it. Between, like, if you're looking to do a small roller coaster trip, lump Kings Island, Kentucky Kingdom, and Holiday World together. Those three parks are awesome. And you can have a great time at those three because they're so different, and it's just a blast. So next was Silver Dollar City. So I hadn't been to Branson before. And if you haven't been to Branson, it's very much like Pigeon Forge. So I've been to Pigeon Forge several times because I've been to Dollywood then a couple times. And I think I was a little disappointed with Silver Dollar City just because I expected it to be like Dollywood, and it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Like, part of the problem was I didn't have all day there because this was a smaller day because we had to get to Six Flags Over Texas the next day. And that's what I'll go into later, the whole driving aspect. But we got on all the roller coasters because it was pretty dead. And it does kind of have a Dollywood type feel. But I think that if you got to compare the two, Dollywood is definitely the better park in my opinion. I do like Silver Dollar City. Outlaw Run. I mean, do you see what shirt I'm wearing? Yeah. Outlaw Run was awesome. And Powder Keg was weird as can be. And Wildfire, that was a surprise. That was a really good B&M. So I would recommend Silver Dollar City. In fact, of all the parks I went to, I don't think I wouldn't recommend any of them. I'd say if you get the chance to go to any of these parks, I'd say do it. I don't know if I had a bad day at any of these parks because one of my favorite phrases is the worst day at an amusement park is better than the best day at work. And I think that is absolutely true. So, Six Flags Over Texas. This was another park that I'd been to. And so, if you watch the vlogs, the last time I was at Six Flags Over Texas 2 years ago, we got rained out. And so, I was sitting around and I was waiting for it to stop raining, and it never stopped. And so, I left. So, this time, get there, ride some stuff, and it starts raining, and it didn't stop. And so, we left. So, I really want to like Six Flags Over Texas, but I can never seem to have a good experience there. Every time I go, okay, here's the problem. Over Texas has the worst weather policy I have ever seen at any amusement park. So, okay, Cedar Point has a pretty bad rain policy, but that is a legit reason because that's at Lake Erie. So you're going to have big wind gusts. The Dallas area, Six Flags Over Texas, if you have rain within 30 miles of the park, the rides are shut down. 30 miles. That's not even close to the park. So we had 3 points during the day where the roller coaster shut down. 2 of those times, it wasn't raining. So 2 of those instances when the rides were down, as far as I was concerned, they were down for no reason. So I wasn't able to get on all the coasters. Luckily, though, I had been on most everything. I was able to get the credits that I didn't have. So, like, I didn't have the Mine Train, the Mini Mine Train, Lava Bora, and I hadn't done Justice League. So I was able to do those. And actually, now I've done 2 Justice Leagues. I did this one, and I did the one at St. Louis. And what's amazing about these Justice Leagues is that they have a single rider line. It is awesome. So I would say big fan of the Justice League rides. I mean, I could do a review of the Justice League dark rides because it's not a roller coaster and I really don't do coaster reviews, but Justice League is fantastic. And I would not complain if Six Flags took these and put them at every Six Flags park. Doesn't matter if they're the exact same. These are awesome because like they've cloned the Boomerang, and the Boomerang isn't a great roller coaster, but they put it everywhere. So this is a great ride. If they put it everywhere, I'm totally okay with that because like I have Six Flags America probably 2.5 hours from me. If they got a Justice League dark ride, I'd probably go to Six Flags America more often. Great. Big thumbs up for me. So next was Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Of all the parks I went to, this was the biggest surprise. I did not expect Fiesta Texas to be as good as it was. This has got to be one of my all-time favorite amusement parks. I love Six Flags Fiesta Texas. I'd say if it isn't my favorite Six Flags park, it's like in the top 3. Like lump it with Great Adventure and Magic Mountain. That's how good it is. I loved Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So you walk in and it has like, okay, so you have 2, in my opinion, you have 2 definitions of beautiful. You have the Busch Gardens beautiful, where it's lots of plants and very elegant theming. Six Flags over Fiesta Texas is beautiful because of the architecture. So everything has this beautiful Texas charm. All the buildings are so elaborate, and I loved it because I love the cool buildings. So like when I go to New York City, I love seeing things like the Empire State Building or the One World Trade Center. So this is really cool how you see architecture so elaborately done at an amusement park. Because think about it, Six Flags didn't have to do that, but they went above and beyond, and that is what I love. It is, from what I've heard, it's one of the newer Six Flags parks, and I think it shows. It was fantastic. The roller coaster collection is not as good as some of these other parks, but it makes up for it in literally everything else. Superman Krypton coaster, favorite floorless. Iron Rattler, favorite RMC. I haven't done Lightning Rod, but it's my favorite RMC. That was the one that is my favorite roller coaster from the trip. So if you're going ahead and you're asking what was my favorite roller coaster that I got to ride on here, Iron Rattler. I rode it front row, thought it was pretty good, and then I did it back row, and it was incredible. And the Iron Rattler is gonna be one of the first coasters that I do a review for, and I'll talk more about kind of the future of my channel, what I'm gonna be doing next later in the live stream. So stay tuned, but I'll definitely go into it more, but just briefly to talk about Iron Rattler, what I love is that the restraint isn't going to go down any farther than when you push it in the station. So like on some of these RMCs, you put it down and then the forces from the ride kind of shove it down, so it kind of staples you, you know? So this is a different type of restraint. I believe it's from Gerstlauer. The trains are different, which the head of the train is awesome. But when you're going on some of those airtime hills, if you were to, when you're in the station, sit forward a bit and kind of stick out your gut, you're going to have tons of room, and you're going to have all that room throughout the entire ride. It is like standing airtime. It was unbelievable. If you go to Fiesta Texas, Iron Rattler back row. I did Fiesta Texas. I did Iron Rattler 9 times. 7 of those were in the back row. It was awesome. So the next day was 3 parks in one day. So this was pretty crazy because I've done like 2 amusement parks in a day, but like this is the definition of park hopping. We did SeaWorld San Antonio, ZDTs, and then went back to Fiesta Texas to use our dining plan, but then we also rode Iron Rattler again. So it was incredible just being able to go to 3 different amusement parks in one day. So SeaWorld San Antonio, this was my first SeaWorld park, like not counting Busch Gardens. I'm talking about the SeaWorlds. And I liked it. SeaWorld San Diego definitely is superior in my opinion, but I'll talk about that when I get to SeaWorld San Diego. So San Antonio is huge. Like they have so much space and they're not really using it. Like there was Steel Eel was okay. Great White is Batman, and Journey to Atlantis was kind of cool. But I mean, I liked SeaWorld San Antonio because of the shows. I thought that the shows were really neat. But SeaWorld San Antonio, it's not a full day park. Like you go and I mean, like I had fun, but this is like a great place when you just go with your family and you just go for a couple hours. You get to see some animals and you ride a coaster or 2. But in my opinion, it's in San Antonio, and Six Flags Fiesta Texas is also in San Antonio. Go to Fiesta Texas if you have to choose between the 2. So we went from there and we drove about an hour away to ZDT's, and I don't know how to pronounce the name. Okay, it's in the city Seguin. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, it's one of those weird. If anyone in the chat room knows how to pronounce it, so it's a really small town. This park is in the middle of nowhere. It's like gas station, roller coaster, and no one had really heard of this place until Switchback came around, and it was totally awesome. I rode this thing probably 10 times because no one was here, and I gotta give it a shout out to the guys who run the park because they totally hooked us up. We were able to get on the rides for free, and we were able to just ride as many times as we want because there weren't any lines, and it was totally awesome. We were okay. It's Seguin, as people are saying, or Segway. No, Seguin. Okay, I think it's Seg. How are people saying it? I'm reading the chat room and how people are pronouncing it. I think it's Seguin. Okay. Anyways, so this is a really cool roller coaster. It was totally worth driving an hour to the middle nowhere to ride this thing because they have a couple of other rides, but I did Switchback and then that was pretty much it. I went up the water slide tower to shoot some footage of it, but I didn't actually ride the water slides. But if you're going for a couple of hours, it's a great place because you can get wet and you can play video games, and they have some indoor stuff. And I think there's like a roller coaster simulator. And so it's a really neat place. And so I mean, but the main attraction here is Switchback, and this is a great wind roller coaster. It's in my top 10. I loved it. So that was totally worth it. And then we drove back an hour to Fiesta, Texas to use our meal plan because free food. And then we got back on Iron Rattler a couple more times. So then we had the next day was all driving because we had to go from San Antonio to Phoenix. And then we went from there and did SeaWorld San Diego the next day. And so we were there in the later half of the day. So we got there around 3. And right away, I was blown away with this SeaWorld park. Like, this is a fantastic place to go. Like, I would lump it in there. If you're doing theme parks, don't skip SeaWorld San Diego because it's not in the Los Angeles area. Make the drive from Los Angeles to San Diego to do this place. I thought SeaWorld San Diego was awesome. Like San Antonio, it wasn't a full day park, but it was so much fun. They had tons to do. It was beautiful. Like, you walk in, they have all these waves. If you've seen my park footage video of it, like, whether you're into that type of video or not, go and, like, if you haven't been here, look at that video because I tried to capture this amusement park the best that I could, and it is outstanding. I am a huge fan of SeaWorld San Diego. Got to see some of the shows. The Clyde and Seymour show, the sea lions, is hilarious. It is the funniest animal show I have ever seen at an amusement park. So I love this place. They have a sky ride over water. Journey to Atlantis is pretty neat. And then Manta, great family coaster. I wouldn't complain if we got some more of those in America. I thought it was awesome. And so SeaWorld San Diego gets a big thumbs up for me. I was really impressed. So after that, we drove probably 5 minutes away. This is probably like 10 o'clock at night now. We went to Belmont Park. Now, this is got one of the oldest wind roller coasters out there. It's called the Giant Dipper. It's one of 2 Giant Dippers in America, or in California, with the other one being in Santa Cruz, which I got to do that one also. And Belmont Park, you go for the Giant Dipper, but it was just really awesome being able to see how you're at the Pacific Ocean. You go there at night and you have all the lights. It was really great. Like, I loved being able to just go from SeaWorld San Diego and just right down the street to check out this place. Giant Dipper was fun. And we had a good time there because we only spent probably an hour there. We just got some food and just hung out because it's a very popular area. Tons of people just going, even if they aren't riding the roller coasters, they're just walking around because they have an arcade and stuff. And so if you're doing SeaWorld San Diego, I would definitely say do Belmont Park along with it. So the next day, what we did was we actually did a touristy day where we went around and we did Hollywood Boulevard because I love that kind of thing. So I was able to see the Chinese Theater, the Dolby Theater, and we got to see where Jimmy Kimmel forms, where a show is filmed. And I mean, you have the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it was really cool. And I loved being able to do that because it was kind of a good break from the amusement parks. So I was like, you know, whether you're into that kind of thing or not, I would say definitely do it just for the experience. But what we did actually afterwards was we didn't want to buy some of the food afterwards. So we went to Knott's Berry Farm for like the last few hours. And that was kind of like a preview night because now it is July 3rd. The main day we were going to have at Knott's Berry Farm was the 4th of July. So we knew it was going to be long lines. So we did Knott's Berry Farm the night before so we could use our meal plan and then also get on a couple of the rides so that in case we weren't able to get around to all of the rides on the 4th of July, which the lines were longer. So that was cool. And Knott's Berry Farm at night, like, this is my thing with Knott's Berry Farm is that, like, okay, it doesn't feel like a Cedar Fair park at all. It feels like a Hirsch End, like something from like a Silver Dollar City or Dollywood. It was awesome because they have so much theming. The whole Ghost Town area is really cool. So I was a big fan of Knott's. And 4th of July, yeah, it was crowded, but we dealt with it. Some of the rides we had to wait 45 minutes. Some of them, like Ghost Rider, we had to wait about like an hour and 45 minutes. So it was long, but that was probably my favorite ride of the day because it was when the fireworks were going off. So Knott's Berry Farm was doing their fireworks show, and it was while we were on Ghost Rider. So they have all these chaser lights going around. So you see these orange lights as you're on the roller coaster, which is super smooth, by the way, now. And there's fireworks going off. It was hype. We were in the back row. It was a blast. And then because they were setting off their fireworks, they stopped operation on the coaster. So we're sitting on the brake run watching the fireworks for probably 10 minutes. It was awesome. At first we thought it broke down and we were going to have to get an evac, which would have been awesome. But it was just fun being able to just sit there and enjoy 4th of July on Ghost Rider watching the fireworks. It was a pretty great end to the night. So if you get a chance to do Ghost Rider tonight, I would totally recommend it. It was really neat. All right, hold on, guys. Let me get some water. It's been talking for a bit. Okay, so this is the park that was kind of the climax of the trip, if you take it that way. This was like the point of the trip where it was like, I don't know if it was the halfway point or more than halfway, but it was the park that everyone wants to go to. It was the park. It was Six Flags Magic Mountain, and we had 2 days there. And boy, am I glad that we had 2 days, because this park is like huge. So we were able to get most of the attractions done on the first day, but the second day was really nice just so that we could get re-rides and so that we could check out some of the credits that we missed. So like Green Lantern wasn't open the first day that we were there, but it was open the second day. So we were able to get on that. And I now have 19 of the 20 credits at Magic Mountain. So the only one I don't have is the Magic Flyer. And you cannot be under, you have to be like under 48 inches, I think, to ride it. So I don't have that one, but that's okay. Both sides of Superman were running. And by far the favorite was Twisted Colossus. Again, those RMCs in the back row Twisted Colossus was so great. And the Full Throttle was really cool. Kind of the thing I was a little disappointed with Full Throttle was I was expecting airtime over the big top hat, but there wasn't really airtime, so I was kind of disappointed with that. And but it was still probably, if I had to say the coasters that I rode the most, Twisted Colossus I rode the most, probably Full Throttle was second most. I think I got on that like 4 times. Tatsu was really cool. That was a really cool flying coaster. Apocalypse was rough, wasn't the greatest GCI. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's all of the roller coasters you guys wanted me to talk about at Magic Mountain. Let's see. I'm going through the chat room. No, people aren't asking me to talk about any Oh, okay. All right. I think there's like one person that wants me to talk about X2. Oh, okay. Okay. Everyone wants me to talk about X2. Okay. Here's my thing with X2. I love the concept. Layout was awesome. Execution was not the greatest. So here's what I would say to make it better. If I were in charge, or if this was possible, have B&M do X2. Same thing. But the main part that I didn't like about X2 wasn't that it was rough. I didn't find X2 to be rough. What it was that the rotation of the seats is not smooth. So instead of being like, okay, this is a poor demonstration, but if the seat is like supposed to go like this, it was more like, like it was very kind of like, if you've ridden it, then you probably know what I'm talking about. So I only got to ride X2 once. I did it in the front row, outer seat, and I got off it, and the first thought in my mind was, what the heck was that? Like, it was really disorienting, but I liked it. It was a coaster that I really want to see done again, but I want someone else to do it. I want someone else to do it because I know then, like, okay, so you have Green Lantern or Batman the Ride at Fiesta Texas that do the same type of thing where it's your seat is rotating, and that's a different type of rotation because X2 obviously has a very specific rotation. But if you were to take that ability from Batman the Ride, where it was a smooth rotation, not necessarily free spinning, but still the direct rotation, and you were able to do it so that it was a smooth rotating of seats, I would think it'd be one of the greatest roller coasters out there. But because my problem was I had a hard time enjoying X2 because all I could focus on was that my head was going, you know? I mean, yes, I would like to ride it again. And I would probably try it in a different row, maybe an inside seat this time. I don't know. Because this was my first time at Magic Mountain. I'd never ridden it before. So probably people that have been to this park probably times have probably gotten used to it and learned to appreciate it more. So this is coming from someone who had never been to Magic Mountain before, so I'd never experienced anything like this. So, and I understand that this was like one of Air's last coasters, or I think it might have been their last, and it's a prototype, and so I get that it was innovation. I think, again, I'm not saying it's a bad coaster, because it's not. The audio going up the lift hill is demented. The layout, I think, is great. I love how sometimes you're on top of the track and sometimes you're below it. I think it's crazy, and it's a heck of a lot of fun to just watch this coaster go. But I just wish that the seat rotation was smoother. So if I ever go back to Magic Mountain, which I'm sure I will at some point in my life, I want to be able to try it again, see if my opinion changes. But if not, I would love to see B&M take on this concept. And I think it would be one of the greatest things out there. So that's it for Magic Mountain. So then we went up to Northern California. We did California's Great America. And so this was one of the two Great Americas we did. The other one being Six Flags Great America. They were both Marriott parks. So it was kind of cool to be able to see the similarities between the two, because obviously they both have the same entrance and everything. And this one was a very nice Cedar Fair park. It was definitely smaller, but I mean, I had a good time there. Definitely the one ride that I was surprised at the most was Mass Effect. And that's not even a roller coaster. So Mass Effect is one of Cedar Fair's new rides. So I've now done a Triotech, Plants vs. Zombies, and Mass Effect. So the three different types of dark rides that they're going to be putting out in Mass Effect, by far of the three, was my favorite. Like, Voyage to Iron Reef was okay, but it felt like a video game. Mass Effect was awesome because you have a person up front. If you haven't done this before, there's a kind of a guide, like a pilot to your spaceship. And like, I'm not a gamer, okay? I haven't played a video game in years. And Mass Effect, like, I don't know anything about this, but it was still a heck of a lot of fun to just, I don't know, experience it. Go to another planet, see these aliens. They have all these cool effects. Mass Effect gets a huge thumbs up for me. If they were to send that to Kings of Me or Kings Island, I think it is a great addition. Plants vs. Zombies is fine, but I liked that this wasn't a shooting game. You can just sit back and watch. So that was cool. Gold Striker, favorite GCI that I've ridden now. I thought it was really cool. Flight Deck, probably one of the most intense B&M inverts out there. Really short layout, but it was really good. I liked what it had. So we went over after California's Great America, and we went over to Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. We did that in the same day. They're about 45 minutes from each other. And it was awesome to be able to check out what is considered one of the great... I think my dog just photobombed my live stream. So that was my dog. So anyways, Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, I think is definitely one of the best boardwalk parks I've been to. It's like right up there with Maurice Piers. And this is cool. It doesn't have as many roller coasters, but it was just a great place to go hang out, and we were hanging out there at night. And so again, it's kind of like Belmont Park. You have all the lights. It's right on the beach. And this had the other giant dipper. I don't know which one I'd say is better. I thought they were both pretty similar, but Santa Cruz I definitely liked more than Belmont Park if I were to compare those two. So the last California park we did was Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and this was kind of a disappointment. I expected this park to be better than it actually was. Like, I mean, it was fun, but Medusa was a good floorless coaster, and Joker was a good RMC, but that was about it. Like, neither one of them really blew me away. Joker's probably my least favorite RMC I've ridden. Medusa, I don't know if it makes my top 5 floorless. Maybe it does. It probably does, but like not top 3. And the rest of it was kind of okay. Like, I liked the animal aspect. That was really neat. But I don't know. This was one of those parks that I expected to be better than it was. And I don't know what I would say to add to make it better, because they do have that height limit. But maybe the other problem was that I didn't get to ride V2. So actually, the 2 V2s I could have ridden were at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in Great America, Six Flags Great America. And I didn't get to ride either one of them because they were both closed when I went. So still to this day, the only impulse I've ridden has been Wicked Twister, which is fun. But that was kind of a disappointment because I've heard V2 is pretty sweet. So I don't know. I don't need to go to Discovery Kingdom probably anytime soon. For me to want to go back there and be able to like just go and like feel like I need to make a trip out there, I would do it if I were going to San Francisco, because that was one of the things that I didn't get to go to San Francisco, which I really wanted to, but we didn't have the time for it. But that's probably the only reason why I would choose to go to that park again. Like, or unless they got like an insane roller coaster that just blew me away. I mean, I guess that was the point of the Joker, but it didn't. I don't know. It didn't blow me away. I thought it was fun, but I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It was a good park, but I'd probably put it right up there with like St. Louis, maybe. So after that, we made the haul from Northern California to Worlds of Fun. And so Worlds of Fun was a cool place. This is a park that Cedar Fair really needs to invest some more in, because it was it was good. Like, Mamba surprised me. I probably like Mamba better than Magnum XL200, and Patriot was fun because it has this really cool moment where it like hangs you and like dips down. If you're in the front row, it feels like you can touch the track. It's really neat. And then you also have Prowler, which that was probably my favorite of the 3 there. And it was, I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, supposedly that's what Kings Island's going to get. It's going to get like a Prowler type ride. And if they do, I think that is totally okay. I thought Prowler was awesome. And that was a half day. That was like, we got there like 4, stay there till closing. So then we went up to Iowa to Adventureland, and the biggest disappointment of the trip was here because I didn't get to ride the Monster. So this was one of the new for 2016 roller coasters that I want to ride. It's the only Gerstlauer Infinity coaster in the Western Hemisphere. The next closest one, I believe, is the Smiler, and that's in Europe. So it was closed, and I was really bummed. So that was a big disappointment. And then the other rides at Adventureland I thought were fine. I think I was at Adventureland for maybe 3 hours. I mean, it was fine. It was good. Like, I mean, it's a nice place that when you enter in, it kind of feels like Disneyland. Like it's a good place, but I think the problem is that this ride Monster, I've heard, breaks down all the time. And so I would go there again if I knew that I would get on Monster. But if you know that Monster isn't going to be open and you have the opportunity to go, I would almost say maybe don't even bother. I mean, it was a neat place. Like, they have a circus, which is really cool, and the food is really cheap. But it was I don't know. It was fine. So after that, we did Six Flags Great America. This was a really cool park. I had tons of fun going to this place. And so, I mean, obviously this place has more roller coasters than a lot of the Six Flags parks, but it's also going to have larger lines because it draws from Chicago, and that's a huge area. And so I got there and I went straight for Goliath, and that is a great roller coaster. It was tons of fun, and my favorite seat again is in the back row. These RMCs I think you got to do in the back row, and it was just fun because I was like the entire time I was there, I was hanging out with viewers. I was able to hang out with you guys from the moment I got to the park up until the last day. Sometimes there were me with 2 other people, and then sometimes there was me with 25 other people, and people came and went, and that was totally okay. And it was just it was great. We had a great time. Raging Bull is a good roller coaster. It's fun. Like if you're looking for a fun ride, it is fun. It didn't blow me away. X-Flight is good, but I don't like how the vest restraints tighten because I felt like I was gonna die just sitting on the brake run. And if you've ridden it, then you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, it's a good park for sure. I definitely liked it, and I want to be able to go back there again sometime. So, this is when a lot of people we know. I had plans to go to Dollywood and Carowinds and Six Flags Over Georgia, but what happened was while we were in the Chicago area, we realized that the car that we had been taking on this entire road trip, great car, like it was awesome, but we had driven so long and we didn't get new tires before we went. We needed new tires. They were kind of shot. And so tires aren't cheap. And so what happened was that kind of dug into our funds for those 3 parks. And because those were kind of out of the way, we decided to cut those, and I just stayed in the Cincinnati area. And that's one thing that I want you guys to understand, because yeah, it did kind of suck, but it was just awesome that I was able to still go to all these parks. So I wasn't that bummed. I've been to both Carowinds and Dollywood before, and Lightning Rod wasn't even open. So as far as I was concerned, the only thing I was missing out on was the cinnamon bread. Six Flags Over Georgia, I was a little bummed that I missed, but I'll go there one day. It's not that big of a deal. I was able to go to so many parks, and the fact that I wouldn't go to one more, oh, boo-hoo, too bad. So what I did was I went to Kings Island 2 more days, and I actually went to Stricker's Grove, which is a park I never, ever thought that I was going to go to because they're only open a couple of days a year. And I got to go there and got to check it out, and it's a cute little place. They got 2 credits there. They're not anything special, but it was just a neat little park to go, and you can walk like right up to the roller coasters, and they have this tiny little fence. I mean, if you want to, you easily could just hop the fence and start walking on the track. It's like the security is not very like there's not a whole lot of it, but it was I mean, like it's a neat place because it has a very different feel than a lot of the other parks. It almost felt like a carnival, and so I liked it. And the food was pretty cheap too. I think I paid like $2 for a burger. So the next park we did was Six Flags St. Louis, and we got there around, I think we got there at opening, and then we left around like 2:30. And this was again, like I mentioned, it felt like it felt like Six Flags Discovery Kingdom because it didn't have any roller coasters that really blew me away. Like Boss was cool, and it was a neat place to just go and hang out. Like I had a good time there. Again, got to meet lots of fans. It was fun, and I liked the park for what it offered. But they definitely need that huge, outstanding roller coaster. And I mentioned that in the vlog that I shot. So I would say if you get to go to St. Louis, definitely do it. But I mean, probably the highlight there. I liked American Thunder the best. I thought that was a really good GCI. And Mr. Freeze, I mean, it's a really cool ride. And but the thing is that you can get that at Six Flags Over Texas. So as one of the viewers that I was with in the vlog said, Six Flags St. Louis is basically just a knockoff Six Flags Over Texas, which, as sad as it sounds, that's kind of true. So this was the last park that we went to, and it was Cedar Point. We went from St. Louis to Sandusky, and we had 2 days there. So I'd been here before, but it was great to be back because this is one of my favorite amusement parks, and it's just a really cool atmosphere. Got to get on all my favorite roller coasters, and the ones that I didn't really like didn't need to get on again. I did do Mean Streak again though because I wanted to check out all the markings go around it, and with lots of speculation going on, who knows? Maybe that would have been the last time I got to ride it as the way it is now. So, and I gotta say, it wasn't as bad as I remember. It was. I mean, it's not great, but it wasn't bad. Top Thrill Dragster, I got to do in the front row for the first time, and that was awesome. I got to do Millennium Force again. That was great. And I got to do Valraven. And it's a dive coaster. I mean, it's a one-trick pony. And I don't know. I like the area around it. I like how they connected the pathway from Blue Streak to the main midway. And it looks really nice. And the merchandise is cool. The ride was fine. I don't know. Griffin is a good roller coaster, but I mean, I think it's better than Valraven. Griffin is a one-trick pony, and I think that's really what all these dive coasters are, because the whole dive coaster thing, they're fun rides, but they don't have the full package. If you're looking for a roller coaster that has it all, it's not a dive coaster. So that's it for, I'm going to stray away from talking about the individual parks. So as you guys know, that I'm going to talk more about the practical aspect of how I was able to do this. And then once I've got through that, then I'm going to start taking you questions, because this is a Q&A and I do want to get around to questions. So we drove a car, and the way we did it was we would set it up so that we would go to the park in the morning, and then we would leave a little early, get to a hotel that night, so that we got to each of these parks at opening. And some of them we stayed all day, but some of them we weren't able to. So like Holiday World, we had an 8-hour drive, or I think it was 8 hours, to Silver Dollar City. And that's quite a drive. So we weren't able to stay there all day. And the same was for SeaWorld San Diego, because we were coming from Phoenix that morning, and we left super early. So we got there around 2. So yeah, we left this was a pretty rigorous schedule where we were tired, but we had to make do, because this was something we all want to do. Yes, in case you haven't figured out, I was with other people. And so it was just I think it was a really cool experience being able to road trip the country, because even if you aren't stopping, it was neat to be able to just see what America is like. Because sometimes you're going around and there is nothing there, and there's nothing but corn. Or the haul from Northern California to Denver, where we had our hotel one night. When you're going across Northern Nevada, there's nothing there. That was a pretty boring drive. So that was kind of how we did it. Some days we had all driving days. We had a day going from San Antonio to Phoenix. That was an all-day drive. And other times where we had Knott's Berry Farm to Magic Mountain, we would go we'd stay at the park till closing and then just drive an hour or however. So some of these parks, they're within a reasonable difference. If it was 4 hours and you figure we left at 8, we get there by midnight. So it's actually not as hard to do as you think. Some of them it was easier than others, because when we're going to California's Great America to Santa Cruz, that's 45 minutes. But it gets it's nice when you get to the point where it's only a 2-hour drive today. All right, so hotels. This was the main expense. The main expenses with this trip were hotels and driving, because you got to pay for gas. No way around that. And hotels, sometimes we would try to get deals, and for some of them we were able to get deals, but like the hotels in California, I mean, those can be kind of expensive. And so they're throughout the main trip, there were 4 of us. So we would split it 4 ways. Okay, I pay for this hotel, you pay for this one. And so that's how we were able to make it work. And that's part of the aspect of, if you want to be able to do this, how do you afford it? You go with people that you can split the cost with. Because if I were to do this road trip by myself, it would be a heck of a lot more expensive than, I mean, if you were to do it with a couple of people, you know. And so that is one of the things I would definitely recommend. The other thing, the other main reason that it wasn't as expensive as you would think was because you get a Cedar Fair Platinum Pass that is dining, and you get a Six Flags Pass that is dining. And so all my meals were covered. So we would eat at the parks, and so those things like paid for themselves. And same with Cedar Fair. And we had the drink cup, so we were able to get free soda. And that's really how you do it. If you're going to hit up some of these parks, you hit the chain parks so that the only time you really have to buy food is in those long hauls when you get hungry. But if you are able to, like one of the things that we had to do, we ate at some weird times, and that was totally okay, because it was worth it, because it was okay. Do we spend $10 here at this fast food place, or do we get for free at Six Flags? So that is another way how you're able to do it. So if you're wanting to do a road trip, that is how I would say do it. So we have some more time. This is definitely going to go over an hour, because I see we have I plan on this doing an hour, but it took a little bit longer than I would have liked, and I want to be able to answer some of your questions. So I'm going to now start taking questions, and these are the only questions I'm going to start taking are ones that have to do with this road trip. If you're asking me, oh, when are you going to go to Orlando? That has nothing to do with this road trip. I'm trying to stay on topic. So if you have any questions having to do with this, or if you want tips on something, I'm totally happy to answer any of those. And remember that I do have moderators in the chat room. I see there's lots of people watching now, and so they are able to remove comments if you're being negative or any of that stuff, which it doesn't look that it's too bad. Definitely seen worse. So what was the favorite park you went to? See, that's a tough one. I thought Magic Mountain was really cool, but I think if you're looking for like an overall experience, Fiesta Texas was definitely one of my favorites. I'm not saying it was my favorite Six Flags park, because Magic Mountain, I think that's a close one. I did really like Magic Mountain, because Great Adventure like has great roller coasters, but Magic Mountain was so much better looking than Great Adventure. Great Adventure doesn't look that great, in my opinion. Did I play Pokemon Go on my trip? Okay, so that started probably halfway through my trip. And I mean, the thing is that these parks have tons of Pokemon, I guess. And so if I played it, I probably would have like a super high score or something. I don't know. I don't play it. And again, that goes into I don't really play video games. And when I'm at these parks, I'm filming and stuff, and I'm there to enjoy it. I'm not going to go and play Pokemon. So no, I did not. I was not glued to my phone like many of these people are. Favorite coaster of the whole trip? Go back and rewatch this. I already answered that question. Thoughts on Magnum XL 200 after riding again? Okay, so this is a great story. So I go back to ride Magnum, right? And I go in the magic seat, which is the third to last row. It's the front row of the last car. And this was like, okay, it's a lot better in that row. Definitely riding that row. So we're going around the course. And first of all, I was able to experience it without the trims on, because the trims come on right before you go into the helix, and it's so much better, so much faster without the trims. It was great. I think that definitely enhanced the experience. And then we're going on those tiny bunny hills, and we're in the last one of the last rows, and some guy's phone from the front row flies up, and it hits. We have our hands up, and so it hits our hands, and it falls into our car. And so I kind of put my foot over it so it doesn't go anywhere. And so then the ride ends and we're sitting on a break room. And I pull up and it's like an iPhone 6S or something. And so I wave around. I'm like, hey, anyone in the front row lose a phone? And so we get into the station and it was like some guy in like the third row. He was like in shock that we caught his cell phone. It was insane because like he lost it when it was at the bottom of the hill. So the phone flew up and that was when we were at the peak. And so it just hit our hands and we flew down. It was like, so the last airtime hills, I don't even think we were realizing what was going on. We were just in shock that we caught a freaking phone. And so that has got to be one of the coolest experiences on the trip. What hotel did I stay in Sandusky? I did Breakers Express this time. I've stayed at Hotel Breakers before, but we were going for something a little bit cheaper, and we got a deal on it, so we did the Breakers Express. What merchandise did you get? Okay, so you see that I have an Outlaw Run shirt on right now. I picked up a couple shirts. Actually, I have one of them. So this is a Six Flags Great America shirt. That's the only Six Flags shirt I picked up because I was not a fan of a lot of the merchandise from Six Flags. I really wanted an Iron Rattler shirt or a Twisted Colossus shirt, but I didn't like any of the designs. Like, okay, here's why I like this one. Simple Outlaw Run logo. That's all you need. You stick the logo on a shirt, people will buy it. And these Twisted Colossus shirts, I'm sorry, I thought they were ugly. They were like way too complicated and in your face. Like if you were to just stick the Twisted Colossus logo on a shirt, I would buy it. But they didn't offer that. I thought the merchandise at these Six Flags parks was terrible. I loved Iron Rattler. I would totally buy a shirt, but I didn't like any of the designs. I've seen some designs where it was like the simple logo, but they didn't have any for sale. So that was a bummer. I don't have all the shirts I got. This one is a Gold Striker shirt. So it has this one. This one's cool. It has Gold Striker down the back or on the front, and then on the back you have the logo and stats. I'm not a huge fan of stats on it, but I thought it was okay because on the back, and I thought it was kind of neat. The other shirt I got a Thunderbird shirt, and I don't have that one with me, but one of the things I know a lot of you guys saw that you want to see, I have it here with me. All right. So I got a Coaster Dynamics. This is Raptor. See, it says Raptor. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. They're micro models, and this one was neat. I liked this one because it came in color. Some of them are just like the stainless steel, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. I liked that this one looked good, and I love the layout of it, so I wanted a Magnum one. I think it looks great. Like this is one of probably my favorite purchases I've gotten. They're not cheap. I think I got it for like $30, maybe a little bit more. Because you get a discount when you have a Platinum Pass. But so it is expensive, but everything in amusement parks are expensive. What was nice about this shirt was it was $10 because it was on clearance, and I love it because it was a good design and stuff. So that was fun. What was my favorite night ride? Ooh, oh man, that's a tough one. I got some good rides on night. I think I got it with Ghost Rider at night because of the fireworks. And if you missed that part in the live stream, go back to when I'm talking about Knott's Berry Farm. I think that had to be my favorite night ride of the trip. Not because it was the best roller coaster, but just because it was like so cool. And because it was on 4th of July, it was like a, patriotic thing. All right, so what is my coaster count now? Okay, so before the trip, my coaster count was at about 150. It is now at 270. Yeah. I rode 120 new roller coasters. And, I mean, some of these coasters I've ridden before, so I probably rode like 300 roller coasters. It was really cool, like just being able to do that. And I'm 18 and I've ridden 270 roller coasters. Like that's crazy. So I'm super grateful I was able to do this because I mean just being able to I feel like I like I mean, whether it's a coaster enthusiast thing or not, but because I do these reviews and I talk about parks that I haven't been to, now a lot of them I've now been to. So I feel like I'm more experienced now. So that is one of the things that I am really glad about. Just being able to get that, like the number, like I keep track of the number just cause, but it's more about how I was able to get on a lot of these awesome roller coasters, and I can review them now. Let's see. Did I like Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain? No. What was the worst ride of the trip? I gotta go with Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis. That thing sucked. That was total garbage. Let's see. What parks would I go back to? Well, I would definitely want to see what parks are getting new coasters for next year. And if they're ones that I would want to go to. But I thought that a lot of these parks were awesome. Obviously, I'd want to go back to. I mean, I'd probably go back to a lot of these. Some of them I don't need to go back to for a while because I mean I've been back for less than a week, so I was just there. So like I don't need to go back to Cedar Point like the rest of this year. I'll think about a trip next year depending on what they get and everything. But like Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, I don't need to go back there for a while. I'd love to go back to Magic Mountain sometime soon. I want to go back to Adventureland to do Monster. Great America would be a fun one to go back to. So it really just depends on what parks are getting new for 2017 roller coasters or more than that. Top 3 RMCs I rode on this trip. I gotta go with Iron Rattler number 1. Twisted Colossus is number 2, and here's why. So people were complaining about how Twisted Colossus doesn't duel all the time. Okay, so here's the thing. I gotta hand it to the people working Twisted Colossus. They did an awesome job with operations. So I rode it 5 times. If you figure that is 10 rotations on Twisted Colossus. So like 5 times on blue and 5 times on green. So if you think about it, that's like 10 rotations. Okay, I hope you're following me. So of those 10 rotations, I was racing another train 9 out of 10 of those times. That makes the ride so much better. And when we were going down, like, because we raced, I think, when I was on the blue side, we raced the green. And then when we were on the green side, I think that we didn't race that time. And when we were on the green side and we weren't racing anyone, it was still fun, but it wasn't as good, you know? So because I got to experience it so much where you are like, you feel like you can high five the other train or all sorts of stuff, that made it so much better. So I am a huge Twisted Colossus fan. How did I get permission to film POVs in the parks? There's this great invention called email. It's amazing. So I just go to their website and send them an email. It's crazy. And so, yeah, and then they get back to me if I can do it or not. And if they say no, then I don't do it. I'm not going to break their rules. It's a privilege to be able to go to their parks. I'm not going to break their policies and risk getting kicked out. That'd be stupid. Let's see. I'm just going through comments. How would I compare the 2 Mr. Freezes? So yeah, now I've ridden both of them, and they're about the same. The main difference between the 2 is that the one at St. Louis, you can see more and you can get better views of the ride. The one at Over Texas, you only really get like one shot of it from when you're like up towards like Batman's drop. You can kind of get a decent view of Mr. Freeze. This, like the queue line kind of wraps all around Mr. Freeze at St. Louis. So I thought that was really neat. How much did the whole trip cost? Yeah, I don't tell people that. Not your business. Titan or Goliath at Magic Mountain? Okay. Goliath at Magic Mountain has got to be one of the stupidest roller coasters I've ridden. Okay, so I don't like this coaster at all. I thought it was really dumb. So you go up to, and the GP are like, oh my gosh, it's tall, it's fast. Whoa, it's probably crazy. I got off and I was like, that was stupid. Like, I've done Titan, and Titan didn't really impress me. I mean, the Helix is definitely forceful. I found the Helix to be more forceful than last time, but Goliath, I mean, it doesn't have the Helix that Titan has. I mean, there wasn't airtime. It was forceless. Yeah, it went tall and fast, but that was about it. I mean, it wasn't like, and then the brakes slam you, and I got off and I was like, that was dumb. I didn't like it. So I rode it once and I didn't need to ride it again. So I'm sorry if you like Goliath and Magic Mountain, but I thought it was stupid. Has my favorite coaster changed over this trip? No. So if Iron Rattler was my favorite on the trip, it broke my top 5, but my favorite is still Fury 325. What did I think of Iron Dragon VR? I did a whole vlog on that. So I'm not going to talk about that here, but the second to last vlog I did from the Great Coaster Road Trip, go check it out. I do this whole video on Iron Dragon VR. Long story short, I thought it was really cool, but I go into detail in it into that video. What was the worst park experience? I don't know if I had a bad experience at any of these parks. Like, yeah, there were disappointments where some of these rides weren't open. Like Knott's Berry Farm Pony Express wasn't open. Oh, boo-hoo. And both of the V2s weren't open. And obviously Monster wasn't. But, like, I didn't have a bad experience at any of these parks. It's just some of them I wasn't, like, blown away with or anything. But I wouldn't say I had a bad experience at any of these parks. Like, I mean, sure, there was probably 1 or 2 employees that I didn't have a great encounter with, but I wasn't going to let that skew my view of the park. How long did the trip, how long was it? I was gone for a month. It was long. So what is your schedule for videos next? Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I have still some more park footage videos that I'm going to get around to. I don't remember what the last one I posted was, but I think the next one is Worlds of Fun. And then after that is Adventureland, Great America, St. Louis, and Cedar Point. So I'm going to get around to all of those. And then I'm going to put out a coaster parody because I know you guys are missing that. And I promised you guys a coaster parody end of July. And that's not going to happen. It's going to be early August. So I'm sorry about pushing that back. I know you guys love those things. But I'm going to have to push it back just a little, but I'm going to get it out soon. I actually worked with Dakota last night and we recorded 3 of them and we're going to get around to some more soon. But some of these parodies are up and ready to go. And if you want a hint of what the next one's going to be, watch the Cannibal parody and stay for the end. That's all I'm going to say. And no, I won't tell you what the next parodies are going to be. They're supposed to be a secret, guys. Come on. Yes, I'm going to make coaster parodies. I have like 10 in planning right now. And so just stay tuned. They're probably going to be like little more than a week apart from each other. So the first one I post, then the next one will probably be like a week and a half after that. Because, I mean, if you guys haven't realized, they take a long time to make. There's a lot that goes into them. So that's why they aren't as often as some of these other segments, because they definitely take more time. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through comments, seeing which ones I want to answer, because some of these I've answered before. Yeah, if you guys are joining later, just go back and rewatch the live stream, because I did answer a lot of these questions I'm seeing in the chat room. Did you meet Mean Streak Henry? I met him actually last year that I was at the park. I didn't see him this time. I saw Single Rider Bob this time, though. That was kind of neat, because I've heard of him plenty of times. And so that was kind of neat. Talk a bit more about Voyage to the Iron Reef. I was a little disappointed with it because here's my thing. Compare it to like Justice League. Voyage to the Iron Reef, you could see when the screens ended, and you could see, like, if you're watching this screen, you could turn your head and you could see the screen way over here. Like, that's why I like Justice League so much better, because you are so into it and it's taking you from room to room and you can't see anything other than what you're being shown. So I like Voyage to Iron Reef. It felt like, I get that Tritech makes video games, but it felt like I was in a video game. And I waited in such a long line for that thing. It wasn't worth it. I waited like that. I waited in long lines at Knott's. I waited, I don't know, it might have been an hour and 15 minutes for Voyage to Iron Reef. I don't know. I didn't think it was worth it. Should Boss be RMC'd? I thought Boss was pretty good. I don't know if they should touch it. I thought it was really neat. I did like it. Again, I'm going to go into a thorough review of it eventually. But I thought it was a really neat roller coaster because it's so long and it has lots of moments where it goes fast and then it pops up and then it goes down again and then it has a double helix at the end. So I thought it was a pretty neat roller coaster. So I don't know if they should necessarily touch it. I thought it was pretty good the way it is. But if they did RMC, I would say it probably would be the best thing at St. Louis. I'm getting lots of questions about what I think should happen to Mean Streak. Guys, that is off topic. I'm talking about the road trip. That is a whole separate video. I'll get to that eventually. Actually, you guys are going to like the video I'm going to post tomorrow. It's something I do once a year, and it gets a huge, everyone loves it, and everyone looks forward to it every year. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's coming tomorrow. And you can probably take a guess of what it is. Just think about what time of year it is. Let's see. Tips for Cedar Point. Okay. So one thing you got to do is, if you have a platinum pass, you get in for early entry. But then if you are staying in an on-site hotel, you also get in an hour early. Absolutely do the early entry, because Cedar Point can get large crowds, and that gets you some time to be able to get on some of these rides, especially something like Valraven that's going to have a super long line throughout the day. So I loved being able to just go around and ride some of these rides before the general public gets around to it. So if you're going to Cedar Point, do the early entry. And by the time the general public gets to the front of the park at opening, you're going to want to be in the back of the park. So go to the back area of Cedar Point, hit up Maverick. And I mean, the thing with Cedar Point is that they get long lines. So, like, on one of the days I did Maverick as like the first ride of the day. It had a 45-minute line, but it's better than what it had later in the day. So it's not a bad idea to start with the back of the park first. And what's great is that Cedar Point has multiple entrances. If you are wanting to do that, although this entrance isn't as good, when you enter the park, you go around, take the road all the way around, and park at Soak City and go through the Soak City entrance into Cedar Point, because then you're deposited right by Magnum and you can walk to Maverick. So I would recommend doing that. I did that with one of my friends, and I think it is a great way to be able to knock out some rides. And then you go to the front of the park around like 3 o'clock. And beware of Dragster. It breaks down a lot. Oh, this sounds fun. What were some good GP quotes I heard? I can't think of too many off the top of my head, but my favorite that I heard was at Knott's Berry Farm. I tweeted about this. So if you follow me on Twitter, which you should, at Coaster Studios, no space bar, no underscore or anything. This was hilarious. So I'm getting off some ride, and some mom is with her kid, and the kid's kind of straying or whatever. And she's like, "Hey, keep close to me. People are going to kidnap you around here." And I'm like, "What?" It's like, she's like, "Yeah, there's kidnappers everywhere." I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's people everywhere just trying to kidnap your kid." What? What is she thinking? So that was my favorite. Because I'm sitting there, I'm listening, I'm like, "You're crazy." So that was hilarious. All right. talk about the Ace event at Kentucky Kingdom. So I talked about it a little bit about when I talked about Kentucky Kingdom. So you can go back and listen to that bit a bit more. But what was cool, what I loved about this was I got a chance to meet Ed Hart. And this is the guy that brought Kentucky Kingdom back to life. So this is a very sweet old man who was so devoted to being able to bring this park back after it was left for dead. And I mean, it's crazy what he was able to do. I mean, it's being able to bring back a theme park, add in new rides. He doesn't ride the roller coasters, but as he said in a Q&A he did, if we build them, they will come. And that is absolutely true. It's really neat being able to meet with him. And so I talked to him and I'm like, I think it's so cool how you're able to do that. And he just, and he talked about how happy it makes him. And like when I was able to go and talk to him about how much I appreciated it, he's like, and that is why we do what we do, because of people like you who go and appreciate what the park has been through. Because I mean, if Ed Hart hadn't done that, that park would still be empty and there would be no Storm Chaser, there'd be no Lightning Run, and it's amazing what he was able to do. And so I really admire him for that. Did we get rained out a lot on some of these parks? So we got rained out at Six Flags Over Texas again. And I don't really know if it rained at any of these other parks, which is crazy. We didn't have any rain problems at Cedar Point. I'm trying to think. Did it rain at any of these parks? I don't think it did. We actually got really lucky with rain. I don't think we had to deal with anything. There were some points where like it rained the night before, so that it was kind of wet at the park, but it wasn't raining while we were there. So we got lucky. And I'm kind of glad that the only amusement park I got rained out at was a park I'd been to before, because I think that'd be better than getting rained out at a park I'd never been to before, because then that kind of skew my view, I guess. Let's see. Did I film any park walkthroughs? I filmed one. I'm sorry, guys. I really wanted to be able to film some, but it was a combination of battery life. I had 2 batteries, and each one had about 90 minutes on them. But what happens is sometimes when it's really hot, it kind of drains the battery. And so some of these parks, I wasn't able to film as much as I wanted. And also it was a time thing because we were on this tight schedule. I didn't necessarily have time to be able to film walkthroughs. So I'm really sorry, guys. I filmed a walkthrough of Stricker's Grove. I'm sorry. If I go back to some of these parks, which I will, I'm going to get back to some of these places. And when I do, I'm going to film a walkthrough. And like I kind of did when I did Belmont Park, the vlog, I kind of walked you through it, but I didn't film a walkthrough at any of these major parks. Also because I'd never been there before, and so I was trying to find my way around, so I was afraid that if I started filming a walkthrough, I was going to get lost, and then I'd be like, and here we have, I have no idea where we are. Didn't want that to happen, because I wanted to sound educated while doing a walkthrough. Favorite roller coaster in California? Twisted Colossus, man. Good stuff. Best employee experience? It was fun when employees knew who I was and went out of their way to make my experience better. And that was awesome. I had a guy at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom do that. It was working the Joker, and he was super nice and really wanted to make sure that I got a good experience at the park. And a guy at Cedar Point really improved our day and was able to hook us up to make sure we got on a lot of these rides. And he was super awesome. So I would say those were definitely the best employee experiences. But it was also nice when I was able to talk with like some of the people who ran the park, and they were able to get me deals on the park. Or like I met Sarah, one of the owners of ZDTs, and she was so nice. And so I'd say just being able to talk with her was super awesome. So I'd say probably one of those would be a great experience. But I loved being able to have great experiences with some of these employees. Fortunately, I did have one or two bad experiences with some employees, but I don't know. Should I call them out on what they did? I wonder if I was kind of mad that at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom on the Joker, you aren't able to pick your seat. And so I go up there, and this was my first time on it, and she's like, and this lady, she's like, go to row 6. And I'm like, is it possible I could take front row? And she's like, I'm sorry, we have a schedule. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, I'll just let the people behind me go, and I'll just be on the next train. She's like, unfortunately, I can't let you do that. I'm like, why? Because normally if you have, if you want a specific row, they'll either let you wait for it, or you can just let the people behind you go. And she's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't let you let people in front of you go. I'm like, well, why? And she's like, just go to row 6. And I'm like, so I'm like, okay. Because the thing was, there were kind of long lines at Discovery Kingdom. It was probably an hour and 15 minutes for the Joker. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get on it again. And if I did, if I was going to be able to get one of these rows. So I'm trying to see if I can get a front row or a back row. So I'm like, okay, I'm from Virginia. I came all the way here so I could ride this. I'm like, I mean, I didn't want to be able to sound like I'm entitled to it, but I mean, in order to review a roller coaster, you really have to be able to ride it in all sorts of these rows. And if you're in the middle of the train, you're not going to have a good experience. And anyone who thinks that you're going to have a just as good experience in the middle row as the front row clearly has not ridden roller coasters very long. So I'm like, okay, I'm from Virginia. I came here so I could ride this roller coaster, and I might not ever come back to this park again. That's nice. Go to row 6. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull the YouTube card. Okay, so I'm like, man, I review roller coasters, and in order to review the coaster, I want to be able to get the best opinion of it possible, so I want to be able to try in other seats. And she's like, oh, that's nice. Go in row 6. I'm like, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. And she's like, you can just go in and ride it again. I'm like, yeah, I'll just wait another hour and a half, and you'll be at the thing again telling me to go in row 7. So I'm like, ugh. So luckily I sat in row 6, and I was really underwhelmed by it. Surprise, surprise. I didn't think it was as good because I rode in row 6. And then I came back 2 hours later, and there was a new employee there, and I said, hey, can I sit in front row? He's like, sure, go for it. I'm like, so here's my problem. Like, not to sound ranty, but if it's not park policy to not let people pick your rows, then why can't you let people sit in a row that they like if they want to be able to, or let other people go in front of you? I was just fine letting people go in front of me if it meant me being able to sit in the middle. I'm sorry, sit in the front or the back row. But she wouldn't let me do that. And so and then this next guy was like, yeah, sure, I have no problem with it. And then I came back, he was there again, and I'm like, hey, can I do back row? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I mean, that I had a problem with, because if she easily could have let me do that. I don't know if she was on a bad day or something, but I was not a fan of that. The guy who was able to let me pick my rows, he's good. I'm seeing in the comments, people are saying, make row 6 a meme. Meme it, guys. Do it. I want pictures. Someone do it. Go to row 6. People are gonna be telling that story for a while now, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a great experience. Is my number 1 park still Cedar Point? That's a tough one. I don't know if I have a favorite park, because okay, here's how I look at parks. You look at a park that has overall the best collection. Cedar Point, I'd say if you're looking for a number 1 park, that's a good one, because they have the best roller coasters, they have great appearance, they have it all. But I mean, it also depends on what park you're going to have the best experience at. Cedar Point, you're going to have to wait in some long lines, and so that kind of takes away from it. So on some of these days, I'll use Fiesta Texas as an example, I didn't have to wait in very long lines at all, and that park was just as pretty, and while it didn't have as good roller coasters, it still had a great atmosphere. And so, and the same can go for Magic Mountain. I never had to wait in these super long lines, but the parking is good. So it kind of comes with like, what do you want to balance it out with? Like, are you looking for a roller coaster? Are you looking for a park that strictly has the best roller coasters? If that's the case, Cedar Point or Magic Mountain. But if you're looking for a park that has an overall experience, I mean, Dollywood does not have as many roller coasters, but that is one of my favorite parks. Great place. So, I don't know if I have a favorite park. I have favorites, but I don't know if I'm specifically going to say one park is better than another. But if you want to say my favorite parks, I'd say Carowinds, Dollywood, Cedar Point, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and Magic Mountain. I'd also probably throw Kings Island in there. So those I'd probably say those. I did like Knott's Berry Farm though. That was a neat place. So I'd probably say like I'll do a countdown maybe. I'm going to do a countdown of my new favorite roller coasters because I have taken them and I've put them into a list of now I'll probably do like a top 20 or something. So I'm not going to go into that, but I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do a favorite parks list because if I did, it would just be a general list. It wouldn't be like, okay, this park is better than this one because like I love Carowinds and Dollywood, but trying to figure out which one is better, they're so different. So that's kind of the problem. What was the scariest roller coaster? Dude, I haven't been scared of roller coasters since I was middle school. I'm now graduated from high school, so that's been 5 or 6 years. I couldn't tell you what the scariest roller coaster is. I have no idea. Roller coasters don't scare me. Do you think that SeaWorld San Diego will get as many roller coasters as SeaWorld Orlando? See, that's interesting. I thought SeaWorld San Diego was great. It'll be interesting to see what their future's like. I know there's a rumor tossed around of them getting a SeaWorld Rescue Dark Ride, which I think would be awesome. That'd be a great fit for that place. But you know, right now they have the two roller coasters, one of them being a water coaster. It'd be nice for them to get a nice like good thrill coaster. But you know, I think it depends on what SeaWorld's looking to do because SeaWorld Orlando is definitely the flagship park, and I would love to get to SeaWorld Orlando. Manta, Kraken, and Mako look totally awesome. So, I don't know, but I would say I'd SeaWorld San Diego over SeaWorld San Antonio. That's what I'll say. I'm getting lots of questions on what coasters surprised me the most, and see that's also a tough one because that's like I could say X2 surprised me a lot because I expected it to be one of my favorite roller coasters and it wasn't. So I'd say that surprised me. But then Iron Rattler, I was surprised at how good it actually was because I had heard it was one of the weaker RMCs, and here it is. And I'm like, that was the best RMC I've ever ridden. So I'd put it up there with El Toro. So that was a surprise. And then Steel Eel at SeaWorld San Antonio, I thought was not very good at all. And I thought that it was going to be good. So that was kind of a surprise. And Joker at Discovery Kingdom wasn't as good as I was expecting. I certainly was surprised when Monster wasn't open. And Mamba, I think I was expecting it to be like Magnum, but I thought it was better. And so I'd say that was a surprise. Best SLC, there wasn't one. Every SLC I rode on this trip sucked. I got so sick of Vekoma SLCs and boomerangs. Oh my gosh. Every time we came to a new park, it was like, all right, what's their coaster line? Oh, they have a boomerang? Dang it. Because I wanted the credit, but those got so boring and they're all the same. And I'm like, ugh. So wasn't a fan of that. Favorite launch coaster of the trip? I got to go with Accelerator. That was a great roller coaster because I'd say it's as good as Top Thrill Dragster King Ka because it still has a great launch and Top Hat. Sure, it's not as tall, but I actually like it better because it doesn't spiral on the way down. It just, it like yanks you over the drop and then it has some more afterwards. I liked it better than Top Thrill Dragster and King Ka. And because it felt like a more complete ride because it had that stuff afterwards. And Top Thrill Dragster and King of the Car kind of have a little bit of a shaky launch just because they are going so fast. Accelerator launches you to 80 miles per hour, glossy smooth. I thought Accelerator was totally awesome. What are my plans for the rest of this year? Okay, so obviously I'm gonna be back at Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens again. Don't worry about that. And I'm also gonna go back to Six Flags America because I want to try out the Superman VR. I've done the Superman VR now on a Superman Krypton coaster, but it'd be kind of neat to do on the one at Six Flags America. And I need to shoot some footage of a particular ride there for a certain type of video that requires lots of footage. You guys can probably figure out what video series I'm talking about. But so I'm going to go there. That'll probably be like sometime in the first week of August. And it is possible I might go to Hershey this year, but I don't know. That is not set in stone. That is subject to change. So don't word me on that. But if I did, it would probably be somewhere in the teens of the month, like I don't know, sometime from like the 12th to the 18th of August. So if you live near Hershey, put that in the back of your head. And if you don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, I'm gonna post when I know for sure if I'm gonna go, because it all depends on I'd be staying somewhat near the area, and so it depends on if I'm actually going to be up there. Because if I'm not going to be up there, then I'm not going to go to the park. But if I'm going to be up there, I'm going to go to Hershey. So, which would be great because the last time I was at Hershey, Coaster Studios did not exist, and I rode it when I had ridden less than 50 roller coasters. So it'll be fun to be able to go back there and get the credits I missed, and be able to see if my opinions have changed on some of these rides, because I remember loving Fahrenheit, but I wonder if I'm going to get back there and be like, it's fine. So we will see about that. I really want it to happen, but I can't guarantee it. So keep that in the back of your heads. Am I going to do another Great Coaster road trip? I just got back from one. I'm not even okay. If you're asking me what parks I'm going to go to next year, I don't know. I'm sorry. I am still thinking about August and stuff. And and the other thing is I'm going to go to Lagoon for their haunt. I'm not going to be able to go to Kings Dominion or Busch Gardens haunt this year. But I'm going to be able to go to Lagoon's haunt. So that'll be kind of neat. So expect some videos from that. But, I'm sorry. Someone just posted a comment. Drove across the continent and waited 3 hours for this ride. Go to row 6. Raw roller coasters. That's funny. Someone is making a meme out of that. So, anyways, what was I talking about? Okay, I'm gonna go to Lagoon in sometime in October, and I have absolutely no idea what my 2017 plans are gonna be. No clue. Would I like to get back to Kings Island to be able to do their new one coaster? Absolutely. Is it gonna happen? I have no idea. Would I like to go back to Cedar Point next year to see whatever the heck they're planning, or they're doing something? Am I going to be able to get back to it? I don't know. So the only ones I can guarantee I'll go to next year are Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens, because Busch Gardens is getting Invader. So you'll get some footage about that. So all right. Let's see. How was Montezuma's Revenge? That was fun. That was my first is it called a flywheel? The launch system. It's like, I believe, the only one in the US. And because the other one was King Cobra at King's Dominion, and then now that's in Brazil. So this was kind of a neat launch system. Flywheel, that was it. And so this was kind of neat because it felt like a gradual like launch, where it wasn't like a sudden one, like Accelerator just goes boom. This was like a gradual acceleration. I thought it was really cool. And the loop, it's like a circle, because a lot of loops nowadays are ovals because of how your body takes it. Like the Montezuma's Revenge loop is a circle. And I also got a ride on it. I got lucky. I got a ride on it when Jaguar was threading the loop. And I got a ride on Jaguar when Montezuma was threading the loop. So that was really cool. So I would, if like that, I'd say that definitely made the experience better because I'm in the loop and I look down, there's people on Jaguar and vice versa. So I thought it was really neat. Oh, this is a good one. How has your views on manufacturers changed? I'm more frustrated with Gerstlauer because freaking Monster wasn't open. I love RMC even more than I did because if you think about it, before this trip, I had ridden New Texas Giant and that was it. Now I've ridden, I believe, 6 RMCs. I mean, so, and I've like, even though Joker, in my opinion, is probably the least strongest of them, it's still a great roller coaster. It's better than probably 80% of all roller coasters. So I would say RMC now has got to be one of my, if not my favorite manufacturer, like one of my favorites. And look what my water bottle is sitting on right now. See this? It's a coaster. It's a coaster. It's our Rocky Mountain Construction coasters. It's a coaster that you put your drink on. That's how much I love RMC. And my laptop has an RMC sticker on it. So, yeah, I love RMC even more now. Most crowded park I visited? Definitely Knott's Berry Farm, 4th of July. How was Wilderness Run? So if you followed me on Instagram, you know I now have all of the credits at Cedar Point, including their kiddie coaster, Wilderness Run. So what happened was I tried to go get the credit, and so I'm standing in line like an idiot, and the ride op is like, you need to have a kid. And so we're waiting to see if some kids come up, and they're all like evenly distributed. There's not like an odd number of them. So I'm like, okay, I'm here by myself, and I'm a coaster enthusiast. I'm trying to get all the credits. Is there anything you can do? And she says, well, if you go to the town hall and talk to a guy there and explain that you're trying to get the credit, he can give you a permission slip that can get you on it, and then come and show it to us, and we'll let you on. So I go to the town hall and I'm like, listen, this is gonna sound stupid, but I really need to get on your children's coaster. And he looks at me, he's like, okay. So he gives me a permission slip to get on Wilderness Run. I book it back over there, get it on there, show it to them. I get on the coaster and they're loading up, and there's an odd number of children, so one of the kids sits next to me. So I end up riding with a kid anyway, so I never even needed the permission slip. And so I'm sitting in the station, and we're about to go, and this little kid looks at me and he's like, why aren't you riding one of the bigger rides? And I'm like, don't judge me. I'm sorry. And so I felt so like I felt like a bigger idiot because this little kid is like, he's like so judgmental, and I felt really bad because I was sitting next to him, and so it goes around once, and they're like, who wants to go get? And everyone's cheering. They're like, does anyone want to get off? And I raise my hand, and I'm like, I'm gonna go ride Top Fuel Dragster now. But it was so funny because I'm just going there. I'm like trying not to make a scene. I'm just like, nope, just a normal guy, and I end up causing all this commotion. This kid is like, dude, you could be on Millennium Force right now. And I'm like, I know. So that was really fun. That was it was really embarrassing at the time, but it was a really fun experience, and it's a great story. So all those Cedar Point stories between Wilderness Run and catching a freaking phone on Magnum XL 200. So it's crazy. All right, let's see what we got. I've been streaming for about an hour 40 minutes now, so I don't know how much longer I should go. There's still like 450 of you guys watching, so I might answer a few more questions, then I'll go ahead and let you guys get back to your Tuesday night. Let's see. How did I like Maverick this year? Dude, it's awesome. It's still the best coaster at Cedar Point, in my opinion. And what I got to do this time is I got to ride it at night. And actually, here's another story. So we're in line to do it front row at night. And so we're and I'm with Alec on this. He's one of the moderators. Shout out to KI Story. If he banned you, I'm sorry. Blame him. No, it's kidding. So we're in line for Maverick at night. And so it's 10 o'clock. Park is closed. So we got in the line and we're waiting for front row. and the train gets stuck in the launch tunnel, not the one we were on, like one of the ones before us. And so like, Magnum, I'm sorry, Maverick is temporarily down for a delay. We do not know how long this will last, so you can leave or chill or whatever. And so we're like, and so the problem is the park is closed now, and we had booked it from Valraven a mile to get to Maverick. We ran a mile to go ride that thing. So we're like, no, we're staying. So people start leaving. It starts getting longer and longer. And finally they get it out of the station, and they have to get everyone, or they get out of the tunnel, and they have to get everyone out of the, everyone from the coaster off of it so they can cycle some empty trains. So now it's getting longer and longer. And we're like, okay, when's this going to happen? Because we were supposed to be, because it's not like we can walk to our hotel because it's Breakers Express. And so our ride is waiting for us. And both of our phones are dead, so we can't let them know that we were delayed. And so so we're waiting, and finally it reopens. And the good thing was that some people that were in line ahead of us decided to leave. And so we didn't have to wait for as long. And so we finally got to do it front row at night. Totally awesome. Thought it was great. Where did I get that RMC merch? I know a guy. Let's see. Where's that water bottle from? Kirkland, Costco. I did actually get some water bottles. I got a Kentucky Kingdom free water bottle, and I got a Cedar Point mug. They're over there, and I'm not going to go get them, but because the only merchandise I brought were the ones that were the shirts, and I already showed you guys this thing, so I'm not going to go get it, but I did get some mugs, which is nice. How's the Superman Escape from Krypton? That was fun. It was fun, but the launch was so long, and it took forever to reach its maximum speed. And then the actual section of flat track took forever. Like because you're launching backwards, so I'm like, okay, any second now we're gonna spike up, and it just kept on going, and finally it goes up. And so it wasn't as good as I thought it'd be, but I don't know if I expected it to be that great. So I don't know, it was fun. Did you see any famous people at Hollywood Walk of Fame? I saw their stars, and I got some pictures in front of them because, like the Chinese theater, they have, like I love Harry Potter. They have the Harry Potter handprints from Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, and Daniel Radcliffe. And so I got a picture in front of that, and that's pretty cool. And I got pictures of the stars of a lot of my favorite people, like Steven Spielberg, Daniel Radcliffe, and stuff like that. So that was that was really cool. Again, I really liked that. What was the coolest station? I still really like the Magnum station. I think that's a really cool looking station. In terms of the least favorite station, actually the Superman Krypton coaster station I wasn't a big fan of because it was pretty hot in there, and then they can't let you they don't let you see the launch because they have the doors closed, so you can barely even tell what row you're in line for. And then they open, and then you go and you take your seats. So like for someone like me that wants to film the launch, I couldn't do that. So I wasn't a huge fan of that station, but at least they have like a split off point, so there's 2 tracks, so like that splits up the line. Ooh, how was Thunderbird? I haven't talked about Thunderbird. This is a great roller coaster. This is by far my favorite wing coaster. It blew away my expectations because like I'd done Gatekeeper and Wild Eagle, and I thought they were fine, but Thunderbird blows them out of the water. Fantastic ride. I mean, I bought a shirt from it. That means something. So I'm going to do a review on it upcoming, and it is, yeah, I thought Thunderbird was great. Let me tell you what ones I'm going to review first. So I'm going to do the new for 2016 coasters first. So in other words, rides like Storm Chaser, Joker, Ghost Rider, Valraven. In no particular order, I'm going to do those first. And then I'm going to get around to the new for 2015 coasters. So rides like Twisted Colossus, Thunderbird, Switchback, Goliath. And then I'm going to get around to the coasters that are really popular and people want to see reviews for. So like X2, The Voyage, Outlaw Run. And I have this scheduled all through like August into September. I have it all mapped out what my next videos are going to be. So I'm working on it. But I've kind of told you a little bit about how I like some of these rides, but I'm definitely going to go into more detail with those. What was my 200th coaster? Go check out the Magic Mountain vlog. It was Twisted Colossus, and I talk about it there. That was my 200th, and I'm certainly glad that that was my 200th. Did I use any flash passes? I did not buy a single flash pass on this trip, which I was like really proud of because, when we were at Knott's Berry Farm, I was tempted, but we did not. And there was a point where one of the parks hooked me up with a free flash pass, which was super awesome. But we did not buy a flash pass. What was my 250th coaster? I have no clue. I mean, I keep track of the when it hits 100 mark, but I don't do the 50s. So I have no idea what my 50th coaster is. I have no idea what my 150th was or my 250th. But I'm 30 away from 300, so I'm not going to hit it this year. I'll probably hit it next year, maybe, depending on what parks I go to. But again, I don't know what I'm doing next year. And that's being completely honest. I have no clue what I'm doing next year. I'm so sorry. What do you think of Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom? That was awesome. My opinion, I like it better than Storm Chaser. I thought it was really great. And it was lots of airtime. And it's definitely like top 20 worthy, maybe even like top 10. I thought it was so fun, especially like when you do front row, back row, all that stuff. I thought it was great. Go to Europe, easier said than done. Is Afterburn still my favorite invert? Yep, we rode some good inverted coasters on this list, on this trip, but Afterburn is still my favorite. Okay, I'm getting lots of people saying, show us your dog. So I'll be right back. Okay, this is Sasha. I've shown her before. She's a Papillon, and she's super cute. And she's I love to snuggle with her. Yeah. She was sleeping. I woke her up. Her name is Sasha. So you can just chill there. Yeah, she's a wiggle worm. All right, let's see what else we got. Funniest thing to happen on your trip. Funniest thing. I don't know if I had a super funny moment besides just hearing funny lines from the GP and things like, oh, I did actually. I got one. So one of the ladies that we're traveling with, we were at California's Great America, and it's like Cedar Point. They have lots of seagulls there. So we're outside of the entrance waiting to leave so we can go to Santa Cruz. And she left to go to a gas station or something and bought a bagel so that she could feed the seagulls. And so we're outside in the parking lot waiting to go. And she has the bagel is like, here, birdies. And they're ignore her. So she bought this bagel and they're literally flying away from her. And so finally she just rips up and throws it there, and like all these seagulls swarm her. And so she's surrounded by all these seagulls and they keep on coming there, and she's like trying to feed each of the individual birds, and like the birds are like fighting over. It was really funny. Like it's I don't know if it was I don't know if it was as funny as it sounds, me telling, but like if you were there, it was hilarious. Show the magic cheeseburger? No, that's in my room. I'm not going upstairs. Can Rachel get a guest appearance? No, I have no idea where she is, and she wouldn't want to do this. That's my sister. No, we're not bringing her on this. Did I go to In-N-Out? Yes, I did. I love me some In-N-Out, and so I made sure to stop there. We went there in Texas. Love In-N-Out. Would you say Lex Luthor or Zumanjaro is better? See, that is a tough one. I thought that they were pretty much the same, and the problem is that like everyone says that Zumanjaro is better because they'll run Superman at the same time, and it's really cool because like when you can get up to the top, it can drop in sync with Superman, but it didn't do that for me. I only got on Zumanjaro once, so I don't know if I'd say one is necessarily better than the other. I thought they're pretty equal, frankly. Worst hotel. Oh, this is a story. Okay, batten down the hatches, guys. This is all right. So this was probably the worst experience on my trip. So we go to California's Great America, right? And then we go straight to Santa Cruz. So we then have a 2-hour drive that night to get to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. So we leave Santa Cruz at like 11 o'clock. So we get to our hotel around 1. Well, it is past check-in time, so they can't get us in for the room that we booked. And so we're there arguing with it. We're super tired, and it's like I'd never been to Northern California, so I'm outside and I'm like freezing. I didn't bring a jacket, and so so we're arguing with the people at the front desk. Like 30 minutes later, finally we get a room. So we go into a room and we're exhausted, so we plop down, and then we find a cockroach in the room. Ugh. So we go and we're like, okay, can we get another room? This is gross. They can't get us another room because they're completely booked. So we leave the hotel. I would have just killed it and moved on, but one of the guys we were traveling with does not like this kind of thing at all. And so we're like, okay, we'll go find another hotel. It's 2 a.m. I'm like, can't we just stay where we are? And it's like, no. So we go across the street to a Denny's so that we can, we're sitting in the parking lot trying to figure out what hotels we can go to. And we hear gunshots and a cop is going by because there was just a shooting a block away from where we were. And we're like, what? It turns out we were in a bad area and we had no idea. And so we book it out of there and we drive and we get close to the park because we were probably like 20 minutes away from the park from where our hotel was. And so we go close to the hotel, or we go close to the park to try and find a hotel there because we were in a really bad area and we had no idea. It was insane. So now it's probably 3 a.m. Okay. And so we find a hotel across the street from the park. Like you get a view of it. $250 for a night. It's 3 a.m. We would be in there for 5 hours. We're not paying $250. At this point, we might as well just stay in the car. So that's what people are saying. We're saying, okay, what if we just stay in the car? Well, the problem was that my camera, I'll show you guys. So the way my camera works is that it has a separate battery. And the way you charge it is, I don't know if I have the, here, let me show you. This is the charger for my camera. All right, see this? Yeah, so it needs to be plugged into something. So if we were in the car spending the night, I would not be able to charge my camera, which I'd never been to Discovery Kingdom, and I was not a fan of the idea of going to a park and not filming anything because, yeah, I didn't want to do that. Like I had 30 minutes of battery on there, which if you ever owned a camera, 30 minutes of battery gets you maybe 5 minutes of footage. It doesn't get you 30 minutes of video. If it got me 30 minutes of video, I'd say, oh, that's fine. We'll just stay in the car. But it was a nightmare. And so we're like, okay, so now the option is either no footage tomorrow or we spend $250 for a hotel. And so now it's like 3:30. We've been arguing over this, trying to figure out what the heck to do. And finally we find a hotel that's like $100 down the street. And so we go there, and I go with one of the guys that will be there because the thing was, it was just 2 of us in the room. If there were more of us, it would have been more expensive. And so that's how we were able to get for $100. And we also got a deal on it. So we go there, and it's now like 4 a.m. We're trying to check in, and we had booked it online, but because it was now, I forget what day it was. Let's see. It was, we booked, so we were going to the park on July 8th, but it's the night of July 7th, but it's technically the 8th now. So you have to book it for the 7th. So we get to the hotel, and they can't get us a room because you can't book a hotel for a day that is already passed. So now we have to argue with another hotel person. And so finally, 4:30 in the morning, we get it worked out. We get our room. I can charge my camera, and we pass out. It was the worst like hotel night I've had. It was like one of the worst nights in general. Like Santa Cruz was cool and all that, but just it was like 5 hours of like yeah, I'd say that was probably something I was not a fan of. Be careful if you're near Vallejo. There's some sketchy hotels around there. That was definitely the worst hotel experience I've ever had. Worst food. Ooh, worst food. I don't know if I had any bad food. The thing is, I didn't get sick of roller coasters, but I got sick of park food. So, like, okay, having a home-cooked meal is really nice. And so a month of eating nothing but junk was terrible. Like it got old really fast. And so I got sick of that. The food wasn't bad. I just got sick of having burgers and pizza and French fries. It was obnoxious. So I didn't have any bad food. It was just I got sick of park food in general. Can I give you a shout out? No. Favorite new park? I already talked about that. Just go back. I don't really have a favorite park. Worst operations? Kentucky Kingdom was pretty slow. What else was slow? What had slow operations? Any of the VR coasters had slow operations, but that was kind of expected. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of the same questions that I have already answered. And so I would say if you are interested in seeing if your question is answered, just go back to the live stream. I've been live streaming for like 2 hours now, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I did answer a lot of these questions in here. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this. This was really cool. I've been enjoying talking about this and hope that you got a good feel for it and you're looking forward to the future videos that I'm putting out. Again, look forward to the video tomorrow. I think you're going to like it. And everyone who watched, really appreciate it. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So everyone say goodbye to Sasha. She's not that interested. So, oh my gosh. All right. I'm getting a lot of requests for this in the comments. So there. Don't ask me to do anything for you guys ever again. All All right, I'm gonna see you goodbye. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. So thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And let me know if you want me to do another live stream, and I will let you guys know. And maybe I'll do this every 6 months or something. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.